I wanted to make a quick video about Sculptris, just because a lot of the tutorial videos out on YouTube are pretty advanced, and I like to use this program with my 5th and 6th graders. We do some pretty cool projects using Sculptris, but I just want to basically, just create a very beginner video and show you some of the basic tools that you can use, and I'll probably leave out a lot of tools, but just the absolute basics to get going and making cool projects. So the first thing you'll notice is materials. That's not much to that. I always just kind of sculpt in the gray so I can see the details and then play with the materials later, but that's totally up to you. Some of the tools that we up here that you'll be using is we have draw, and draw basically will pull the clay up, or you can click invert, oops, and that pushes the clay in. Right. If you want to undo, you just press Control and Z. Control Z will undo. It'll only undo, I don't know how many steps back. It won't. If you do a whole lot and then try to go back, it won't. So if you do a bunch and you can't undo it all, you can just, new sphere, new scene. Right. Another thing we have here is you're going to be using draw and grab. Grab is probably what you'll be using the most. Grab, sometimes you'll click on it and it'll have global checked, and then what that does is that moves your whole ball of clay up and down. Alright. If you want to move your ball of clay to the side, you can press Control Alt Z and move it to the side. Alright. Other than that, when grab is checked, it'll be moving your clay up and down. Most of the time you'll be using it unchecked or having the global unchecked. So if you click off of global, and this allows you to start pulling your clay into shapes. Alright. And the cool thing about Sculptris is you never have to, it's kind of like doodling on a piece of paper. You never know what you're going to get when you start out. So, and that's the funnest way to do it, especially for my students, just to grab a piece of clay and start pulling and see what comes out of it. Okay. Let me see. So we've got the draw tool, the grab. Inflate is pretty cool. My students like to use it when we make, if they're doing a character with some muscles. So let me just pull, I don't know, we'll just pull these things into arms here. Alright, so they're pretty skinny right here. You can go to the inflate tool and make sure that you have the invert unchecked. Otherwise it's not gonna, we want it to pull out, not, oops. There we go. Now I'm just inflating both sides. Again, I'm definitely not a pro at this, and this is probably not the tutorial video to watch if you want to find how to do some, the more advanced things. But so we did inflate, draw. The next one that we really want to use a lot, or we do use a lot, is we click on New Sphere, and we actually add object. This allows us to add more clay, and then so you just put it in, and now most people are like, what do I do next? And then they start over. Well, all you have to do is click the scale button up here and make sure global and XYZ are checked, and then you just hold down your mouse button, your left mouse button, and you can scale over it. And then you turn it sideways and you go back to the grab and make sure global is checked, and then you can grab and add this clay in anywhere that you like. Alright. And then, so right now at this point you have 2 pieces of clay, and to make it 1 piece of clay you just press Control A, and now it's combined the 2 pieces. And then here we can uncheck global. Alright. Alright. I'm just playing around here. So, and then what I'm doing is some of the shortcuts that I'm using in here is I'm holding the shift button down and using my mouse wheel, and you'll notice that's adjusting the size up here. I can also press the control button and use my mouse wheel, and you'll notice that's moving the strength up the top, so that way I don't have to keep going up and top. It's just quick shortcuts. I can also press the space bar on the computer or my keyboard, and it also will pull this up wherever I'm at, wherever I'm working. If I press the space bar, so that, and I think those are the basic things that we use. To just knowing these little bit of tools, you can create pretty much anything. One thing I could say, if you're using it like at school or our computers are pretty good, but I notice if there's a ton of detail, if you click paint, this one will process pretty quickly because there's not a lot of detail. But if your students get in the habit, or if you're drawing and you're getting in the habit of doing this stuff, and now you've got all these creases and everything, and it'll take 15 to 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much detail it is, to harden this. I call it hardening, to make so that you can paint it. So that's just one thing to consider, and I'm sure I will make another video once I learn more easy things for students to do. I'm probably forgetting something, I'm sure, but hopefully this is enough to get you going with Sculptris. It's a great free program, and I will include the link to download it in the description.